Here's a video on graded exposure for somebody who can't stand for more than about 10 seconds or so. And this is what we did. Case studies are a good way to look at applying techniques that you might want to apply yourself. And this is a story of a lady who has had back pain for a couple of years. 2 years history of back pain. She also has some other aches and pains, but predominantly she's frustrated by this pain in her back. As soon as she stands up, she gets pain. She can't walk more than 100 meters. She didn't have any trauma at the time that would justify the onset of such pain, and she struggled on with it for a long time and then decided she now wants to do something about it. I'm just going to look at some notes that'll add some history to the situation. So she's a middle-aged lady. She's been fully investigated medically. X-rays, MRIs have all shown no pathology that needs any medical treatment. She's hypothyroid, hypertensive, she's overweight. These are all things that are worthy of consideration, because when you think of the organism as a whole, that's a person obviously, but as an organism it's under stress. If it's hypertensive, hypothyroid, clinically obese, and weight doesn't have any cause of pain, it's just telling me that the person's probably addicted to comfort through food. We're all addicted to different things, but these medical conditions show that the body's in fight or flight state. So the clues to the body being in a stress state, irrelevant of the name of the pathologies that they get given. It's not a blame game at all. She wants to be able to get walking again. She wants to be able to get walk the dog, and she can't. She used to enjoy going out with her husband, can't do that either now. And when I asked about significant things at the time, she kind of dismissed anything at all. And then it came to her that her mum had died. And now she wasn't a carer of her mum, she wasn't doing loads for her at the time. Her mum passed away and she was in her home at the time. And I asked her, did she take much time off? And she didn't take any time off, not a day. Now I don't know what relationship we had with her mum, good or indifferent, but your mum's your mum, isn't it? And she went to work the next day. She was allowed to work from home, but she kept on working. Now, when you shut down how you feel about something because you say, I'm bothered, I'm not bothered, whatever you are, it means it's going on inside of you, but you might not be feeling it. If you have these other mechanisms, it shows that you do have distractions. Salt and sugar make you block how you feel, let's say. And with respect, this lady was heavier than I'm sure she would like to be. So it suggests she gets comfort from that behaviour. Some people get comfort from going to work. Some people get it from pushing hard with other things. Some take drugs. Some have more sex. Some drink alcohol. They're all only doing it. We're all only doing it to feel better temporarily. Unfortunately, those behaviours mean that you'll have a threshold where you can't use it anymore. So you'll move to something else. It's all a craving for safety. So if you frame it like that, it's not a blame of anybody's situation or what they look like or how heavy they are or whatever. It's telling us if they're complaining about pain, and we know there's nothing structural that's going to kill them, and structural that justifies the pain for the length of time they've got it, then we know the picture and we can reverse those reactive patterns. They can be reversed. You don't have to change the structure. So when we're looking at her problem as standing up, can you see how it makes sense for her body to feel threatened by standing up? Because pushing hard when she should have probably been allowing herself some time to recover from whatever you feel with grief, and she didn't allow it. Maybe she didn't feel it. I was good at not feeling stuff. Then unfortunately, if you don't allow your body to go through a process, it stays in the same state of the moment in time of that event. Even though the event passed, the body's in still that reactive phase, and it encodes pain to a step in that direction. For her to stand up again when her body wants to rest, it's shutting her down. It shuts her down. just to try and survive another day. It doesn't want it to push more, and that standing itself isn't dangerous. It just looks like it's more pushing past where the body can cope with. So now she now sees pain as an unpleasant experience, but she's pushed through it for so long that now it's exhausting. So she almost gives in to the pain. Sometimes she'll push through, sometimes she gives in. And with graded exposure, you almost have to know the pain you're experiencing is not dangerous. Now, if you haven't had any meaning for it, and you've had scans and x-rays, you don't know what it's there for, so there's uncertainty around it. So it's about explaining that the pain she gets on standing isn't dangerous. But because she's been someone who's pushed through a lot or numbed how she feels with food or drink or whatever else, she's got to notice how she feels before she stands up. So we timed her standing up. It's 8 seconds, and her back pain came on 8 seconds, and that's in a physio room with me stood next to her, and her back comes on. I said, "Where's the danger?" She said, "There isn't any." I said, "Your body thinks there is." It doesn't know you're not going to get up and push through whatever things are in front of you. She understood. So initially we started to just get her to stand up and sit down, and stand up and sit down for 5 seconds. Now we did that 3 or 4 times and said, let's see what the body does now that it knows you are going to attend to yourself before pain even appears. She stood for 15 seconds. Okay. We did it again. She stood for 30 seconds. She's puzzled by the response of her body because she's not getting the pain at 8 seconds. Tissue's not healing. She's not forcing anything. She's doing less and getting more. And it's very confusing when you're used to pushing in the pain, anticipating it, or you've just had it. You're in the reactions before you get the pain. And telling her we're going to stand up and sit down. So homework from that was go to the threshold, feeling it a little bit and seeing what happens. And as she left, and often with patients you wonder whether you've got the right thing or not, I thought, should I have said let's just stay under the threshold? But I didn't change it. I just thought, let's see how you go. That's the practice for the week. You're going to know that you're going to stand when you stand up, and you don't have to do this every day. You've got to appreciate you're attempting to change this system whilst life's going on around you. So you do it a short period daily if you can, but it might only be 2 or 3 times a week. You've got to find the environment for it, and at the same time we're doing something every night that calms the mechanism, which might be the slow breathing that I've mentioned before. It might be the kind words, I'm safe, I'm healthy and strong, there's nothing seriously wrong with me, I'm fine. Or just put yourself in a safe place. And she would be pain-free in sitting. She was pain-free in sitting, so we know she could get some pain-free moments anywhere. And she's pain-free sitting at work. It was just as she stood up. So she comes back and she still has the pain on, but it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. So before we do anything, we're just going to test the time now. She stands up, 47 seconds. Now from 8 seconds on, it's now 47 seconds. So what's 8 into 47? Nearly 6, isn't it? Nearly 6. So she's had a 6-fold increase in her tolerance level by doing what we suggested. So then I took a step back actually, because it's dead easy to get excited and say let's do more. I said we're going to do less than that. We're actually going to go under the radar. Can you see how your body's changing now without us doing anything? You're the same age, you're the same height. In fact, you're a week older than you were last week. The weather's the same. Standing's the same. Whatever wear and tear you've got in the body, that's the same. Nothing else has changed other than changing your perception and awareness of when you're going to stand and how long for, when you anticipate pain but stay calm as you do it, knowing that we've got a timeline that it's not coming on until 47 seconds, but we're going to stop at 20 seconds this time. So you're going to stand up and sit down, 20 seconds, and we're going to do it 7 times. Now if I said what's your name, or you asked my name about 7 times, you pretty much wired it. If you ask someone if you want tea or coffee, milk and sugar, once you've done it about 7 times, you'll know what that person drinks. It's about 7 to 10 times it kind of wires as a repetition in the brain. It can be one trial learning if it's a huge emotional response, but generally 7 to 10 times it's kind of a patterning. So we're going to do 7 to 10 times for this lady. So she stands up, she sits down, she stands up, she sits down, she stands up, she sits down. We do it 7 times and no pain at all for 20 seconds consistently. Now if she's feeling 20 seconds is great, because last week it was 8. There's no fear in that moment consciously, there's no frustration because we know it's coming, there's no need to rush. There's no unconscious fear because there's no pain, and there's a correlation or a synchronicity between the conscious part of your brain and unconscious. Say, we are safe, we're safe together. And notice as she's doing it, she's having a couple of breaths, and she's just, as if you're getting ready for an interview, you're just kind of prepping yourself physiologically and mentally, knowing you're actually in quite a safe space because the interview hasn't even started, the threat hasn't even come, and she knows the threat comes at 47 seconds, she's sitting down at 20. So you're showing your body actually it's getting ready for the threat on a prediction, but you're bringing it down a long time before. And once your body sees that you don't need its level of threat that it's ready to present to you, it knows you've got other strategies, it softens the neural firing of these other pathways, it gets quieter. So we did 7 of them, I tested it thereafter, and it was 40 seconds the second one. So it actually gone down, but we have to appreciate there's a short learning period for the neural system where we think that's it, that's enough, it's done, it's done. Let that bed in, practice that through the week, and that's the process. Now I'll keep you updated on how she does, but it's just an example that these really small steps can make big differences. And I want you to explain one scenario at home for her, that if she can notice when the pain comes on in a situation that she normally feels obliged to push through, if she can slow that down a little bit, it's really important. I said to her, when does this happen at home? She said, oh, when I wash up with the sink. I said, how many times in that a week? She said, well, 4 or 5 times, because it's after the washing, after we've had our tea, I wash up. I said, well, who says you have to wash up then? At that time, she said, well, I like it done straight after I make the food, I put all the pots in the sink and I let them steep, and then I like to have them cleared straight after tea. I said, who used to do that? She said, my mum. I said, well, that's okay, but you're in pain and that's a painful thing to do. You're pushing yourself through. She said, oh yeah, but my husband normally, he says he'll do it, but he doesn't do it as fast as I want. I mean, you look at the logic of this, there is none. It's just a pattern that we all have weird things in the house, don't we? I said, well, could you wait? Could you wait and ask him, you know, are you able to do it to help me? But pause on the compulsion to have it done within that timeline. Just take 2 or 3 breaths and ask yourself, do I need it done at this moment in time? Because the pattern that plays out is he's not doing it in the time that she wants him to do it. He's kind of soporific after his tea, which you kind of are, you want to relax a bit. She feels frustrated because these pots are in the dish, that she wants them done by a certain time. That's all just about control, isn't it? And she wants him to do it, and he said he'd do it before tea. He isn't doing it, she's feeling frustrated. She then gets up frustrated and goes to the sink, and which pain comes on? Bingo, bango, bongo. She's in the pain. He says, oh, I'll do the pots, don't do doing them. Well, I'm doing them now. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Rinse the pots, but rinse and repeat the pattern. Now, if that's contributing to her pain, who's responsible for her pain? Her husband or her? Her? I mean, she can ask her husband for some help, and he said he'll do the pots. What's the difference whether he does it 1 minute after the tea or 15? Or half an hour? And I said, if he needs training, reward him. Men love rewards. Thank you. It really helped me, love, if you can do this. In fact, I said, make him accountable to me. I said, Drew said you have to do the pots. You know, it'll help me. I made a joke out of it. But I said, soften the intensity that you have and the pressure to get it done by that time. And you reduce the pressure on yourself and on him. Thank him for doing it. If he said he's going to do it and he loves you, and it's not a symbol of love, but it's just, you know, we have blue jobs and pink jobs in the house that we all kind of pick up for each other, but thank him for it. Thank him for it, and then thank yourself for just allowing yourself a moment before following a compulsion that generally you've not been very good at resisting compulsions. And that's okay, because that's just learnt behaviour. And if you're motivated to recover from pain, you have to take some responsibility for it. So yeah, you can do the little drills of no pain, but you've got to face the moments when pain appears and see your responsibility in that situation and take responsibility for changing it. I'll let you know how she gets on. Graded exposure is such a fascinating process for those that have always pushed through pain and become frustrated with their failure to overcome it. Doing less gets so much more.